Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm filming at night because this feels like the only time that I'm gonna have to film this video. So I'm really sorry that this is just really shitty lighting. Like, I know, trust me. Today is gonna be my last video in this little mini series that I've been doing about the sun and moon and how they relate to your parents or your parental figures in your chart or in your life. So this video is going to be about the moon, and I probably should have done the moon first, to be honest, because in my opinion I think that we get our moon sign before we get our sun sign. And the reason why is because the moon comes from our mother. Like, the moon represents the mother in astrology, and your mother doesn't have to be your biological mother. It could be just your motherly figure, the more passive, submissive, nurturing parent, the one who is like a caretaker, the more feminine parent. But if you associate your biological mother with the moon or your moon sign, then the reason why I feel like we get our moon is because we are connected to our mothers before we're connected to our fathers, in the actual literal sense. Like, our mothers carry us. Our mothers are the ones who actually give birth to us. Being, a part of her for 9 months, we soak up our mother's energy that way. We get our moon because our mother literally puts her energy into us, because we are a part of her. And so we pick up on her subconscious energy, like her psychic energy, her spiritual energy, because we're in her for so long, and we're just so deeply in tune with her emotions that we start forming our own that are just responses to her emotions in a way. And this makes the moon or the moon sign, like in your chart, become like an instinct, because it's something that, since we became an aware or whatever organism in our mothers, it just becomes like a natural response, like an instinctual response, which is our moon. That's why the moon shows more about your personality, because it's a deeper part of you, because it's a part of you that you really don't even have to like think about. You just are your moon sign, because it's what you know yourself to be as on a deeper level, on a mental, emotional, psychic level. And I don't mean psychic as in like, oh, I can see the future. No, as in like your psyche, I guess. Maybe I shouldn't say psychic, but like psychological stuff. I don't know, like you're just like how you are when you're alone. Like really the deepest, innermost part of you, like your soul, basically. And you can also think about it in the sense that the 4th house comes before the 5th house. And the 4th house is ruled by the moon. So we have emotional connections and bonds to our families and to our mothers before we even start forming like a kind of self-expression in the 5th house. That's why probably should have done the moon first, but it's too late now. But the moon is really important. That's what I'm trying to say by rambling on about this. I think it's easier to tell the kind of influence that our mothers had on us. If you're just gonna look at the moon alone, I think that can tell you more about her influence rather than, if you wanted to know your father's influence and you just looked at the sign, like your sun sign alone, that's a little bit trickier. You'll probably get more of a sense of your father from aspects to your sun. But the moon, you can kind of tell a lot just by the moon sign. Like, you don't really need to know the aspects, although, it's better to know everything, because that way you really get a sense of the full picture. But even just knowing the sign of the moon in a person can tell a lot about the influence of the mother or mother figure again. So, in general, if you have challenging aspects to your moon, and by challenging I mean squares, oppositions, conjunctions, and inconjunctions. Those to me are the challenging aspects. Not that they're like they suck or you're a bad person if you have like only those aspects, but they just create more unbalance or disharmony between aspects of yourself, or misunderstanding, or just feeling like in conflict a lot of the times, like mentally especially. So if you have planets in any of these challenging aspects to your moon, you can look at it as something being in conflict with your instincts, like with your initial responses to the world. There's something that is in conflict with that. And these aspects could probably come because of something your mother taught you to do, like to kind of shape your mind, your emotional reactions to the world, to shape them in a way that could help you, maybe because like moms have that instinct where they just kind of know things about you. So maybe she kind of shaped you in a way, depending on the aspects, to your moon, because she knew that this was what you needed. She knew that this would help you. But if you have challenges to your moon, I mean, that could be that. That could be you, like, in a way, kind of rebelling against what she tried to teach you. That could help you, like you being like, no, this is my instinct, this is my mind, this is how I will react, this is what I think. This is like, it's very subjective. The moon is very subjective. So aspects to your moon, if it's like a positive influence that your mother had on you, aspects to your moon could just show like what she tried to teach you in regards to the way that you emotionally responded to the world. But if you feel like your mother, like you just had more challenges with her, and she kind of just, I hate saying the word positive and negative, but I don't know what other word to use, but had more of a negative influence on you, or just an influence that was, it was more challenging, then this could be your mother being completely overbearing and controlling over your mind and your emotional responses to the world. So those challenging aspects, with certain planets, you have to look at the planets. You have to look at what the planets mean and what they represent and the nature of them. Look at how they're influencing your moon. And that's kind of like maybe, on the more challenging side of it, what your mother tried to do as a way to kind of like control you. Or it could also just be very like smothering or overbearing, and it was something that you probably didn't really want, and that's why it's caused like a challenge within you, and really within you, like deep within you, of you either needing to work through this aspect and just kind of balance it, especially if it's like a square or opposition, or embrace it as just something that could be a natural part of you, and embrace it in a way where it could really produce a lot more benefits or a lot more like positive outcomes. Even with malefic planets, you can do this. It just takes a lot of internal work, because that's what the moon is. The moon is like your internal being. So working through aspects to your moon, I mean to any planet, but we're just talking about the moon. It really does take a lot of introspection, a lot of looking within yourself. And this is just some stuff, like thinking about it in regards to your mother is just maybe something that you can think about, because I'm into psychology and I always like to think about childhood stuff affecting people. But if this is also interesting to you, and if this is something that you feel like you do, you could maybe use that idea of the influence of the mother and kind of connect the dots with your chart. So you can also look at the house that your moon falls into, and this is kind of going to be like where your mother really played a key role in your life, the aspect of your life that your mother really impacted. So if you have like trines or sextiles to your moon, this could be more of what I said before, of your mother trying to like teach you something because she knew that it would help you deep down. Trines and sextiles could show up more as that, but with whatever your mother taught you, that just became like a natural instinct to you. It could also possibly lead to some challenges in its own way, because maybe a trine, like you're just so used to reacting and responding a certain way, and your mom always encouraged those type of responses, and so you just never change them, even if they are showing challenges in your life. That's why I think trines aren't always as positive as cookbook astrology likes to convey that they are. Same with sextiles. But sextiles are more like, if you have sextiles to your moon, you could always pick up on these internal qualities to help you kind of master your moon in a way. Like you could always benefit from the sextiles to your moon, because they can kind of help balance out the energy of the moon, and not balance it in the sense where like you have to kind of meet in the middle like with an opposition. It's more like it gives you like a supportive energy that is different from your energy. That's why, you know, water and earth go together, fire and air go together. That's what a sextile is. So that's what you can look at. A sextile can help you with your internal processes, with your introspection, can help you pick up on things within you to help with your mind and your mental, emotional reactions and responses to the world. So you could also look at your 4th house, especially for this video. You can look at your 1st and 5th houses, because those do show, the 1st house shows like your initial environment that you grew up in, that you came into. Your 5th house shows like your childhood, the childlike enthusiasm, wonder that we had as children. So you can definitely look at those houses, but the 4th house is probably going to tell you a little bit more if you're going to think about it in relation to your mother, and especially your heritage, like your family tree almost, like the kind of things that are passed on to you, and especially from your mother or maternal figures in your family. You could also look at Venus. Venus is the feminine planet. Venus is like that love and beauty and nurturing love and affection. So that's something that you could look at. Venus could probably show more like feminine influences that you had in your life. So I hope this little mini series was interesting to you. I know they were kind of short, and I hope that this was helpful to you in your natal chart studies. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.